Well, I'm about to leave the meadows. A bit of a mildly frustrating day. It was a frustrating day. It was a frustrating day, and I'll tell you why. You have the break by Spitfire. Now he has to qualify. You have the poor performance by Raging Hanover. With that leaves me asking questions. Now, some of those questions were answered. Some of those questions were answered by Tim shortly after his race. And then, obviously, Money was good. I'll start with the good news. Money raced well today. No, I'm going to rewind it even further. We had 3 horses to train in the race bike today. I thought Go Boom trained good. He's ready to qualify. We'll qualify him next week, I believe. Drebin, who had been off since his qualifier last week, I trained him hard this morning in 57. He was very, very good. I'm hopeful that he's in to go Tuesday at Dayton. And Allure trained well too, but showed a little bit of mucus and a couple of drops of blood afterwards. We're going to forego Tuesday and maybe look for Wednesday. Northfield. Now, what I talked about Jason after, rather than taking Allure down to Dayton, that's fine. We can race her Wednesday. Hopefully they split that non-winners of 4 but 7, which they usually do, which would be a good fit for her. Otherwise, we'll have to make different accommodations. We'll know that tomorrow with the Northfield draw. Now, as it pertained to today, I was optimistic. I was on my way over. The entirety of Looks Like Money was as simple, in my mind, as simple as this. The linchpin of how his race was going to go, good, bad, or otherwise, was actually the one horse. If I got away third, I shouldn't be worse than third. If I got away 4th or 5th, I couldn't be better than third. And that's how I kind of viewed the race today. As it turned out, I got Money off the gate really well. We got away third and was beat fair and square. Listen, it's November the 20th. He trotted in 52-4 on his 37th mile of the year. Pretty good mile for him. You're not going to always have the best horse. Sometimes you're going to have the second or third best horse. And today we were soundly the third horse. That doesn't mean those 2 horses will always be there. But I was very, very pleased with the way it Looks Like Money raced today. That's almost the end of my pleasure for the day. I had a win with somebody's horse. Sal's horse was a winner. Raging Hanover in the middle of the card, I just felt that he felt super safe. Felt like we were in the mix and in the hunt in the last turn and let go. Scoped him looking for blood, didn't find any. Lost a shoe, but that didn't play a role in him in his race today. I talked to Tim after. We're going to have to figure out exactly what went on here. This is a horse that Scotty, by his own admission, said no shortage of speed. Now, I put weight on him up front. I didn't tighten his hobbles up that much. They're snug, but he doesn't like them real tight. So there has to be that happy medium. Not too tight where he's going to get anxious and make breaks and get hot, and then not too loose where he's going to make a break, to gear the whole way. And I thought we had him somewhere close to comfortable in the middle. So where'd the power go? I don't really know. I can't tell you. So we'll draw blood first off and see what's going on with, we'll look under that stone with respect to Raging Hanover. And if that doesn't uncover what we want, well, the 2 paths we have, the first one I don't like, which was give him a little time. I don't really like that path right now. When horses are tired, fine, give that horse some time. We did it with Chicago Hall. I'm happy to do it with any horse, but you got to show me something first. When Raging Hanover came from Megan's, there was no shortage of speed. He looked very, very fast and very strong. I think I qualified him. He made a break and went a mile 57, and that's been faster than he's trotted for us since then. So it is concerning. Let's see what his blood says, I guess. Maybe he was sick. I don't think he tied up. But before I can comment on that, I have to have the information in front of me. So we'll pull blood on Raging Hanover tomorrow and then try to patch together a plan for him. If that is how he's going to be, the plan's simple. Put him in the claimer. Put him in the condition claimer. It's not what we paid for him. It's not what we wanted him to be, but I still would rather race a horse that is consistently the same every week rather than hot and fast and making breaks, and now he made another break and he made another one. Look at Spitfire, only much slower. Not really fun. And we'll talk about Spitfire in just a second. So Raging Hanover, let's see if we can figure out where the power went and work our way backwards, or forwards, however you look at it. At no point today did I feel he was going to make a break. So check that box off. I believe we have him in a place he's comfortable. But if that's going to be a place that he's 3 seconds slower than he was before, then that makes me uncomfortable. So I guess we'll look at his blood work first. So before I go any further talking about Raging Hanover, I told you everything I know. He was comfortable. He was safe. He was slow. Got to figure out why. Now, Spitfire Overseas. I don't think we've ever had a more complex yet easy horse at the same time. Spitfire Overseas wants to do his work, but he doesn't like when he hits his left hind, and I could hear him touch his knee coming. That's why he made the break. I wasn't trying to leave with him. I was just trying to steady him coming off the car. And he got out of gear, hit himself, made a break. He's a bugger. The left hind, and it's not up in the jack. I wish it was. It's halfway down that shin. He's hit it a couple of times on the boot and really bothered it. So you can, that's a flexible place to hit. What I mean by that is you can change his shoes and get him away from there. You should be able to. When he was good, 4 full swedges, right? When he was pretty good, a version of 4 full swedges, maybe a heavier swedge, maybe a 960, maybe even a 5/8 up front. His feet bother him a little bit. His left knee bothers him a little bit, so he tried to keep flip-flops. Right now he has razor pads on. For those of you who don't know what razor pads are, it's just a pad that goes underneath and it's cushion. It's just a piece of cushion right here, black piece of cushion, plastic that fits right on the foot. Mechanically, not perfect today. Jogging around sharp, but as it turns out, I believe the wrong kind of sharp. The apprehensive, beware I might make a break type of sharpness. Not that cocky, confident, I'm probably going to win if you drive me appropriately kind of sharpness. 2 different kinds of sharpness. First one, not good. Second one, really cool. And unfortunately, we get stuck with the first one. And I only knew that. I was hoping it was the second one, right up until he made the break coming in out behind the car. And then I knew exactly what we were dealing with. He touched his knee. I could hear him hit his knee behind the gate. He doesn't hit it hard, but he knows what happens after he hits that knee. The next one's going into that shin, and that hurts. So we have 2 things we have to deal with. 2 things to deal with fixed in one way. If you can keep him from getting into his knee, he's less likely to get into his shin. If you can keep him out of his shin, he's less likely to hit anywhere. So I could say that maybe the easiest way to combat that, see if he'll go without the pads for a week, maybe even tip him out. But if you start tipping angles on horses with knees that bother them or ankles, may not stay the soundest. Maybe put a longer shoe on him behind. I think the first thing I'm going to do is bring him back to Northfield. We'll re-qualify him at Northfield. I don't think he's fit and able to race at Northfield Park right now. He should be in Ontario, but he can't get to Ontario like this. He has to be better. So I think what we'll do is maybe we'll tip him out. Maybe we'll see if we can keep him sound while shoeing him the way he may need to be shod to stay away from that chin and away from that knee. That would be tip him out left front, put a couple of corks on the toe. And I don't like the way he's hanging out coming off the gate. That drives him up into that knee also. So we'll take the Murphy blind off and opt for maybe 2 smaller burrs on the left because he will run in. So there. I just talked out loud with what exactly I think we're going to do with Spitfire Overseas. We're going to bring him back to Northfield, change his shoes, qualify him next Wednesday, and then hope we have him right. When he's 90%, he's a 55 trotter. When he's 95, he's a 54 trotter. And when he's anywhere above 95, who knows? He's anywhere from an open to a backup class to a really solid top condition trotter. You start dipping below that 85, 90% level, he starts making breaks. So that's where we're at with Spitfire. This is not something new. Go back and look at him as a 3-year-old, as a 4-year-old, as a 5-year-old. He's gone through gaps. He's gone through stages where he just wasn't good. And he's not what I would call a hit and miss horse, but he is a complex horse sometimes. And the shoeing that we had on him at 3 to fix it, or the equipment we had on him, doesn't work that way with him. You can't lean on the history to fix the present or the future with respect to Spitfire Overseas. So I'm going to go on what I saw today, how I would fix that horse today, and we'll get him into qualifying, we'll get him going. Not far from being good. The rail didn't help either. I mean, that was the worst place in the universe from lead to... He leaves 6. We might be talking about how he got beat, but he's not on the list. I can assure you of that. The catalyst of all of what I've just talked about today in the present was the rail. So we had a flat mile we're trying to fix. We had a break we're trying to fix. We had another horse that just continues to throw heat from the mound in Looks Like Money. Man, that horse. It's really hard to believe that he's been that good, that long, all year long. And he is an impressive animal. So we'll get those guys squared away. Tomorrow I am, I talked about it briefly. I'm going to speak tomorrow at the New York State Legislature. I think that's what it is, the Assembly. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I'm speaking in front of the government tomorrow in New York, in Albany, New York, about horse racing in general and my view of what is slowing down the growth of horse racing. Now, it isn't just my view. It's supported by the data of the stable, and that's quite simply. You don't want to own New York breds because of the licensing. And to me, I'd said it briefly in a video today, the licensing in some of these states, and more particularly in New York, is it's redundant a little bit, it's costly, and it's prohibitive of growth in the industry. It's exclusionary, is what it is. And those are the words I'll be using tomorrow. And I liken it to, as I just said to you this morning, I liken it to charging a lot to get into a bar. Realized a long time ago that didn't work. Charge less to get in a bar, charge a little bit more for the drinks, your bar is full. Charge a lot at the door and a little for drinks, people just don't want to come in. That's the way it is. And that's the way I see New York right now. To redo your license in New York, not that bad at all. It's the initial participation that is 1, tedious, 2, redundant, 3, loaded with bureaucracy, and 4, unnecessary. And those are the reasons that I believe that New York and a lot of the states are losing clients. Our clientele in horse racing to begin with is a little aged, a little older. So how do we convince people to get involved? We already know the butter on our bread in horse racing. The people that like horse racing, the people that are attracted to it. How do we widen that? How do we stretch that? Younger people, different demographics, different ethnicities, different everything. And it all starts with allowing people to say no. And by having the licensing costs the way they are, it gives people a reason to say no. And I see it every day. You don't have to say, no, that's not it. I see it every day. We have 1 New York bred yearling. In fact, there might be only 1 New York bred horse in our barn. And that's why. You've told me that time and time again. That isn't me making it up saying, well, this is what I've come up with and all my data points to this. No. This is our clients literally telling me in English, in their own words, I don't want to be a part of New York because I don't want to get licensed there. There you go. So I'll be speaking about that tomorrow in Albany. It's just one of those situations where I felt I should go. If I didn't, what's that say about me? What's that say about what we're trying to achieve? So I'll be in Albany just for tomorrow. I'll be back Saturday. We have Time Is On My Side and Trosa in. What are their odds? 2-1 on Time Is On My Side with Surreal Ideal in there. I'll get him one of these days. I won't beat him a lot. I can beat him once. Oh, this isn't going to work. All right, fine. Be stupid. I don't care. And then we have... the internet's not on. That's why. And then we have Trosa. I don't really care what Trosa's odds are. I can tell you one thing. my odds are winning are better than their odds of beating me. How's that on Saturday night? If I can get him another decent trip in that class, he's just faster than they are. And if I can get a decent trip in Time Is on My Side's class, where maybe Surreal Ideal doesn't get another perfect trip, well, maybe then I'll be able to beat him. I don't know. So that's our Saturday. We still have lots of racing going on. Very pleased with the way the babies went today. Very pleased with the way that the horses trained today. Our horses are moving in the right direction. It's not always perfect. Yes, we'll get Spitfire Overseas off the list. Yes, we'll get Raging Hanover going. It's just a matter of how. We'll work on that over the next 24 to 48 hours. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your night. I'll talk to you all very soon. It's actually a nice night here in Washington, Pennsylvania.